It was necessary to use rammed aggregate piers on this project because the soils conditions we had on site were unquantifiable by the geotechnical engineer. Said differently, nobody knew what it was. This project site is on a city corner in downtown East LA. It was a prior, and I'm talking decades ago, a prior cleanup site as part of a campaign across the city to clean the site up. And in that process, they took a lot of earth out from the ground, exported it, and brought in clean fill to put back in its place. 10, 20 years down the road, our client decides to build a building here, and nobody can quantify what that soil is, nor can anybody say it's okay to build a 6-story building on top of it. We had a very brief but somewhat exhaustive search about how we could fix the problem. We did ultimately land on reinforced aggregate piers. The firm that we contracted these services through, they have this process patented. We got on the phone with them. They were able to help us out quickly. We got a design prepared with the assistance of the geotech here on site. We were able to very quickly, within a process of 3 weeks, get this approved by the City of LA Department of Building and Safety, also the grading counter here in town. And to my knowledge, this is the first project within the City of LA where this process has been utilized. The process of a rammed aggregate pier was something I was new to, that actually learned a lot about on this job. I'd heard about it in the industry, but we've never really seen it in Southern California, at least on the type of work I've done. The process involves drilling a hole in the ground, typically 24 to 36 inches in diameter, down to bedrock. And in any case, that can vary. On this site, bedrock was about 40 feet down. You drill the hole in the ground, then you come back with specialized equipment and you pour aggregate inside of that. In this case, we were using a 3/4 inch Class 2 rated by Caltrans aggregate that we put down in the hole. That gets poured down in there in about 2-foot lifts, so 2 feet at a time. And then an excavator moves over the hole with a specialized ramming bit and packs that aggregate down into the ground. What that does is that basically hydraulic pressure put down on that aggregate forces it into the sidewalls of the drilled hole, and 2 feet at a time, that's packed up on top of itself all the way up to the surface of the building site. You end up in section or profile looking at almost like mushrooms stacked on top of each other in each one of these holes. And they'll do that all over the site. They typically follow the foundation plan and put these strategically around the footings of the building. In this case, we had a series of 5, sometimes 6, but almost in every case, 5 of these rammed aggregate piers placed below our footings. Every project has its own condition. Every project has its own soil conditions. When chasing projects with clients in the future, as we pursue these projects, it's always nice to have that third option that perhaps nobody else is thinking about on the table when we walk in the door. There's definitely something in our pocket that we can deploy in those types of situations.